Open book: The Value of Education. The story of a street vendor's son, an inspiring and powerful journey. Firecracker opening. Have you ever said, "I'll do it later"? Or maybe, "I'll start tomorrow"? It seems harmless, right? But each later is like a silent thief. It steals minutes, then hours, then years. And before you know it, time is gone. This story isn't just about a boy. It's about me. It's about you. It's about what happens when we wake up, or don't, in time. Child Chapter 1. The Boy and the Sloth. In a simple rural town there lived a boy named Kaio. The son of a street vendor, he grew up surrounded by love, humility, and hope. Kaio was intelligent, kind, and curious. But he had an invisible enemy: procrastination. When his mother asked him to clean his room, he would say, "Later, Mom." When teachers gave him homework, he thought, "I have plenty of time." When friends called him to learn something new, he replied, "Maybe tomorrow." While his classmates learned instruments, got good grades, and discovered talents, Kaio remained still. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. And he continued waiting for the right moment. Charticreasing Chapter 2. The World Doesn't Wait. His parents began to worry. His teachers warned him, "Time is precious. Don't waste it." But to Kaio it all seemed exaggerated. He believed he still had his whole life ahead of him. Until the first major disappointment came. A failure. Then another. And another. Frustration grew. His self-esteem diminished. Kaio began to wonder if something was wrong with him. Mage Chapter 3. The Wise Man of the Tree. In despair, Kaio decided to visit a wise old man who lived on the edge of town, under a huge tree. They said he had answers to life's dilemmas. "Wise man, I'm lost. Everyone says I'm wasting time, but I don't understand why it's so serious. I'm young. I have time." The wise man looked at him tenderly and replied, "You're intelligent, Caius, but you're caught in an invisible trap. Let me tell you a story." Crown Chapter 4. The Legend of the King and the Lazy Man. There was a generous king who ruled a prosperous kingdom. One day while walking through the market, he saw a man shouting angrily. As he approached, he recognized the man. It was his childhood friend. The man was poor, unemployed, and disrespected. "People say I'm useless, that I never meet deadlines, that I'm good for nothing." With compassion, the king made a proposal. "Tomorrow come to my palace. I will open my treasury for you. From sunrise to sunset you may take whatever you wish. But beware, at sunset the gates will close forever." Hourglass Not Done Chapter 5. The Day of Opportunity. The next day the man arrived early. But seeing the palace banquet, he decided to eat first. Then he rested. Then he chatted with the guards. Then he admired the gardens. "I still have time," he thought. When he finally ran to the treasury, the sun was already setting. The gates closed. He left empty-handed. The king looked him in the eye and said, "You didn't lose gold. You lost time." Lightbulb Chapter 6. The Awakening. Gaius listened to the story in silence. It was as if a mirror had been held before him. He saw his own life. And in that moment something changed. He returned home, cleaned his room, did his homework, studied with his friends. He began to use every hour as if it were gold. Months later, Kaio became the school's top student. Years later, he was the first in his family to enter university. Today he is a professor. And he tells this story to his students so they don't wait for the sun to set. Mantelpiece Clock Epilogue. The truth about time. Time is the most fair resource in the world. Everyone gets 24 hours a day. But only those who respect this present can transform it into a future. This story isn't about Kaio. It's about all of us. Because later could be stealing your dream now. Castle: The King's Promise and the Lost Treasure. The poor man's eyes shone brightly. He thanked the king enthusiastically and went home dreaming of the treasure that would soon be his. That night, he slept smiling, imagining himself surrounded by gold, jewels, and a new life. The next morning, the sun rose radiantly. But the man thought, "I have all day. First, I'm going to enjoy a good breakfast." He savored each bite as if it were a royal feast. Then he looked up at the sky and said, "The sun is still a long way off. I have plenty of time. I'm going to rest a little." He lay down for a quick nap. But when he woke, the sun was already high. "I have to run," he thought. On the way to the palace, the afternoon heat exhausted him. "No problem," he told himself. "The treasure won't run away. I'll rest a little in the shade of this tree." Under the cool shade, his eyes closed again. When he woke, the sky was already painted orange and red. The sun was setting. Panicking, he ran as fast as he could toward the palace. But when he arrived, panting and sweating, The guards were already closing the giant gates. He begged, wept, and screamed, "Please! The king promised me the treasure." The guard replied firmly, "Yes, he promised. But only until sunset. The sun is gone. So is the opportunity." The man fell to his knees. Not because he hadn't had a chance, but because he wasted time thinking he would have more than he actually had. Manmage, the wise man, and the boy. The wise man finished his story and looked at the boy, who was silent, his eyes wide. "Do you understand now?" he asked softly. "Each day is like that treasure. Each sunrise brings opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. But these opportunities don't wait. When the day ends, they don't come back." The boy's eyes filled with tears. He thought of all the days he had wasted. All the later and tomorrow he had said. He realized he was exactly like the man in the story. But the wise man continued, "It's not too late for you. You are young. Your treasury is still open. But remember, each sunset takes away opportunities that never return." Fire, the turning point. The boy got up with a new spark in his eyes. He thanked the wise man and ran home. From that day on, everything changed. When his mother asked him to do something, he did it right away. When his teachers gave him homework, he completed it that same day. When opportunities to learn something new arose, he seized it without hesitation. He understood that time is the greatest treasure there is. And only those who respect it achieve what really matters. Mantelpiece clock, the treasure of time, a reflection that can change your life. His grades started to improve. That guitar that had been sitting around for months? He finally learned to play. He started helping his parents with their homework. And what's more, he began tutoring neighborhood children, happily sharing what he knew. In less than a year, the boy who was known for always being late became a model of punctuality and responsibility. At school, his teachers praised him. At home, his parents were filled with pride. Among his friends, he became a role model. Years later, as a successful adult, people would ask, "What's your secret?" He would smile and reply, "I've learned that time is the only treasure we truly have. Every minute wasted is like throwing gold away." Light bulb, the truth few see. The difference between success and failure isn't always talent, money, or luck. It's how you use your time. Don't wait for tomorrow to do what can be done today. Because sometimes, tomorrow never comes. Whenever he met someone struggling with procrastination, he would tell the same story, the story of the king and the treasure. The one the wise man told him when he was still a boy. Sunrise each day is a safe that closes at dusk. This story teaches us something profound. Our life is this treasure. With each dawn, the gates open with new opportunities. But here's what most don't realize. We live like the poor man in the story, thinking we have infinite time. We say, "I'll do it later. I'll start tomorrow. I still have time." But the reality is harsh. Laziness is the thief of dreams. It doesn't shout. It whispers, "You can do it later." And that later becomes never. Fire, the boy's luck and the choice that is still in his hands. The boy in our story was lucky. He woke up early. But many spend their entire lives without realizing that each passing day is a treasure that closes and never opens again. There's a saying, if you value time, time values you. But if you waste it, it destroys your dreams. You can achieve anything if you use your time wisely. But if you keep putting it off, you'll miss opportunities and live with regret. Writing hand, now it's your turn. Think about it. How many times have you put something off? How many tasks have you postponed? Every tomorrow you promise yourself is a treasure you're failing to collect today. The beautiful part? Unlike the man who missed his chance, your treasure is still open. Right now. As you read this, the question is, will you go in today? Or will you sleep under the tree thinking you have more time? Remember, successful people and unsuccessful people have the same 24 hours. The difference is how they use that time. Speaking Head, final challenge. What have you been putting off? What treasures have you been putting off for too long? Write in the comments. Commit to starting today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. No. Because the best time to start has already passed. And the second best time is now. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like the video if it inspired you. And subscribe to the channel for more stories that can transform your life.